Hello and welcome to Patch Notes, a weekly show on the video game news you need to know about. My name is Cesar, and let's jump into your weekly Patch Notes. How you doing, McKenna?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing well. Today is November 7th. Do you know what today is?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Today is the start of Polar Bear Week.
Polar Bear Week?
It's the start of Polar Bear Week.
Oh my
Our little
gosh!
white furry friends on the South Pole, I'm guessing, right?
Cold bits.
The cold sections. There's that one polar bear that likes to drink Coca-Cola. I think he's pretty
Oh,
cool.
oh yeah. He's the coolest of the cool.
So this is interesting because on this calendar it says today daylight savings ends, but it's also daylight saving day. All I know is fallback. At 2 a.m. today, you should set your clocks back to what, 1 a.m.?
Yes, in the United
Yes,
States.
in these United States of America. If you live in another country,
It already
can't do much
happened.
for you.
I'm pretty sure we are one of the last people to change our clocks back.
Well, there you go. There you have it. We're behind, like always.
Yeah, it's no surprise.
And I think this week is also like the start of Extra Life for a lot of people.
I think so, yeah.
There's gonna be a lot of like Extra Life charity events. For example, yesterday I did an Extra Life thing with Matt Batson and Gina Viteri for the Kind of Funny Extra Life Community Day this current weekend. There might still be some people streaming today for the Kind of Funny Extra Life team. And I think next weekend there's gonna be more people streaming.
Mhm.
So check out Kind of Funny Extra Life, or not just Kind of Funny, any Extra Life, Rich Teeth Extra Life, Giant Bomb Extra, whatever Extra Life. Just please
All of the extra
'em out.
lives.
They're all great. In a statement to shareholders about the company's annual report, President of Square Enix, Yosuke Matsuda, said Crystal Dynamics was a bad fit for Marvel's Avengers and the performance of the game was disappointing. Matsuda said, Marvel's Avengers was an ambitious title for us in that we took on the games as a service model. Nonetheless, taking on the games as a service model highlighted issues that we are likely to face in future game development efforts, such as the need to select game designs that mesh with the unique attributes and tastes of our studios and development teams. While the new challenge that we tackled with this title produced a disappointing outcome, we are certain that the games as a service approach will grow in importance as gaming becomes more service oriented. How we go about creating new experiences by incorporating this trend into our game design is a key question that we will need to answer going forward. Basically, what he said is that Square Enix learned how important it is to match a studio's skill sets with their project, and according to Square Enix, even though Marvel's Avengers was a failure, it serves as a learning tool for future games that may incorporate a games as a service model. Some of you may know I'm a big fan of Marvel's Avengers. I play a lot. It's a lot of fun, but it's also not a great game. But it is fun. I will say that. It's a really fun game that sometimes I just turn my brain off and I just fight as Miss Marvel. It sucks to hear that Square Enix is kind of giving up on them, especially because in a few weeks, Spider-Man comes out on November 30th. Does this mean we're going to see falling support for this game? Probably. As we already know, Crystal Dynamics is working with the initiative on a Perfect Dark remake, and so their attention is going to be split. Support is going to die down, probably sooner rather than later. Nothing but love in respect to the developers that worked on Marvel's Avengers. Like I said, love the game. It may not be the best game ever, but I still have a lot of fun playing it. Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2 have both been delayed. According to a release from Activision Blizzard, both games are now planning for a later launch than originally envisioned. What's interesting about this is that these games didn't really have release dates to begin with. We kind of just assumed that they were going to come out in 2022, but now they're being pushed back even further. Additionally, Jen O'Neill has stepped down from her position as co-lead of Blizzard. O'Neill and Mike Ibarra were both made co-leads after J. Allen Brack stepped down after allegations that he ignored a culture of sexual harassment and discrimination earlier this year in August. O'Neill will be leaving Ibarra as the sole lead of the studio. Netflix games finally launched.
Yay!
And basically the way that this is working out, it's like a mobile game service thing. If you have a Netflix account, you have a Netflix games account, so it's a no extra charge, and these games, they have no ads. And the plan is to eventually, these games will be on the Netflix app. But right now, what they did to start launching them is that they've launched 5 separate apps. These 5 separate games on their own apps. 2 of the games are Stranger Things games, and the other 3 games are called There's one called Card Blast, there's one called Teeter, there's one called Shooting Hoops. And the reason I know this is because I played I played these
Oh
3 games.
My gosh.
I wanted to see what it was like. I wanted to see what it was, especially because I already have a Netflix account. So I was just like, I'll just get in. It's miserable. So here's my review of these 3 games. I didn't play the Stranger Things games because I haven't seen the shows, and so I just didn't want to. I don't want to spoil it for myself. But let's start with Shooting Hoops, which is the first one I tried. Shooting Hoops is basically, what if you got a basketball, you put a gun on the basketball, and anytime you shoot the gun, it launches the basketball upwards. There's actually 2 game modes for Shooting Hoops. You tap on the screen and it shoots like a projectile, and the ball goes in the opposite direction, and you're trying to get into these baskets. And that works about as well as it sounds. It should work. There's the second game mode is awful. So it's basically like the ball is falling downwards and you have a little bumper. And with that, you're supposed to get into the basketball hoop. In theory, this is a great idea. However, wherever my finger was on the screen, the bumper was an inch off. And it's just so hard to control that. And so the next one I tried was Teeter. And Teeter is probably the most irritating one because it's literally just like a board and you have a ball. And you tap once on either the left side or the right side. And depending on which side you tap, it moves it upwards. But you're trying to get this ball into like a little hole. And it's just like so frustrating because sometimes you just want to like get it over with and you just push it up a little too far and it launches the ball, and so you have to start over. And then I checked how many levels there were in this game. I got to level 2. There's 150 levels in this game. I don't know who has the patience to get to level 5, much less level 150. And then the last game is called Card Blast, and it's essentially like your match 3 type thing. Like, it's basically like trying to get poker hands. So it's essentially like there's these cards that flip face up, and you just try to match them. Like, you have 3 hands, and you're just trying to put them together and just get a score. That's the one I kind of had the most fun with, and I could probably see myself actually playing that one because I do like mobile games. I'm not gonna lie, I do enjoy mobile games. Eventually, these games will be on the Netflix app, so I would say if you want to try these, get them on the Netflix app, sure. But yeah, there you go. That's my review so far of the Netflix games. Do you have any questions for me, McKenna?
Gosh, there's so many. Why?
Thank you for checking out this week's episode of Patch Notes. Be sure to follow the show on social media. Follow us at Patch Notes Vids on Twitter. You can follow me at Cesar Towers. Follow McKenna at PotterPants212. What did you think of the show? What do you think of Netflix games? We're going to get into it. What do you think about Square Enix calling out Crystal Dynamics? Please let us know in the comments below. And be sure to check in next time when we give you your weekly Patch Notes.